Councilor Cullimore. Cullimore.
I have very little to report. I have attended a few meetings, but one of them was with PCIS, which is Pacific County Immigration Services. And most of the time I have been speaking with residents in the area. I'm just listening to their concerns. And many of the concerns, most of the concerns pertain to water and sewer. Also the high increases that they feel that Ilwaco is raising rates rapidly, and that they are also in the process of trying to have waivers, and they are very upset about that. Another one in my own street, I actually got about 3 or 4 of these comments that Captain Gray Drive has not been paid for more than 42 years. And when it was built, it didn't have a structure under the pavement. And so they come and fill it up with gravel, and 2 days later, the holes that are several inches deep are there, and they are difficult to see whether it is dry because it blends with the pavement. And when it's wet, it creates, you don't see it, and you just go in there and your tires, you keep on bumping really hard on them. And those are, oh, and I see Debby Moggio there. Debby, I just want to tell you that last week you were missed. You missed our council meeting, and we have become so accustomed to seeing your participation, your active participation in all community affairs for the umpteen last years. That, yeah, you actually embody what public service should be about. Even though you are not an elected member of the community, you have never set barriers or stopped working long hours on behalf of the community. So I want to thank you for that commitment and for the quality of individual that you are. And I'm glad to see you back on Zoom. And I think that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Quitner, your report. Thank you. Councilor Lesno.
The Ilwaco Cider Company will be having their grand opening and ribbon cutting on June 29th at 12 p.m. So next Saturday. Super excited to go to that. Other than that, nothing to report.
Councilor Phillips.
Yeah, I just have one thing that I failed to mention last time. So many of you guys saw that the Department of Transportation had lines across the street in downtown Ilwaco on Spruce Street. They had these lines on June 3rd through June 6th, which was a Monday through a Thursday. I spoke with the individual who was doing the test, and they had just under 4,000 both westbound and eastbound individuals or cars passing through that street during that time period. And he also enlightened me that when they put one line across, they're testing just the number of vehicles, but 2 lines across, they're testing both vehicles and speed. So if you choose to speed, they will see it. That's all I have to report.
Okay, I have a couple things to report here. I thought you were going to report that or walk out. Check it out. Sorry, things are running together. Anyway, I sit on the PCOG, City County Council of Governments, and there's a taxing arm in that, and the money's raised for economic development. So the city of Ilwaco put in for $75,000, which was passed on to the county commissioners to approve. And pretty much as it go once the board of the county, the PCOG group approves it, but it has to go to the county commissioners because they hold the money, and they have to approve signing the checks. But we've got that $75,000 for a rate study, for our water rate study, which is something we were looking forward to. And then we had a meeting here in this room with a representative of the governor's office and people from that were are surrounding the Ilwaco land and how to rebuild the Ilwaco landing and what we're going to have to do to get that fast track. It was very, very, I'd say, intense meeting because there are lots of things that we have to go through. Governor's representative was down here, and people from ecology, the engineering construction firm from Ornstein's, and from the owners of Ilwaco Landing. And I think it was very, very, very useful meeting, and a lot of good things came out of it. And hoping to fast track that and get that going as soon as we can. That's a huge loss if that does not get rebuilt. Okay, other than that, that's about all I have to say. Comments and citizens and guests. I didn't see your hand up, Debbie. I'll go ahead with Zoom first. It's in your pack.
Yeah.
Sorry. So we'll go back. You can call the treasurer next. Debbie, your hand is up. You have something to say?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
We hear you.
That's good because I can barely hear you and it's all broken up again. But the reason I've come tonight is I was unable to be on board last meeting, but the time before there was a very generous and well-earned period of the meeting when the fire department was thanked for activities and help that they had given. I'm not sure who was writing. I think it was a letter to commend the fire department, but the broken up sound, of course, kept me from hearing much. But one of the things I heard was that the person writing was thanking the woman who had driven them, I assume, for medical help. That would have to be Missy Badgent. And I am not suggesting that what the others did was any less or that hers was any more, but I just wanted, since the others were recognized by name, I wanted it made clear who the young woman was, because this is a new part of the services, as I understand it, that the fire department has worked so hard to establish. And I think all the people involved should be commended to make the town aware of all the new things that are happening here so that they can support and suggest for more areas that they think needed to be addressed. So just to clarify who it was that was driving them to get the help they needed.
I'd like to offer a point of clarification. Personal identifying details, both from the patient and the caregivers, were withheld on purpose. We have many certified EMTs and on staff as volunteers in the Ilwaco Fire Department, both male and female. Just identifying the gender of one of the drivers doesn't necessarily mean that it was one individual who drove that person. I withheld those details intentionally.
It's just that some of the others were noted by name. That's all.
Thank you, Debbie. Anybody else on Zoom? Okay. Michelle? Thank you. Come on up and take the mic, please.